Hey, we're live. Good morning. How are you? Hope you're well. Welcome to Alicante. We are taking our beloved Airbus A320 back to Bristol today from a rather sunny Alicante, and you may have noticed from the title and the thumbnail the weather's not looking too good at Bristol. So we're doing live weather, we're doing live date and time, everything's as live as it can be given that we're in a sim. And we will see what's what when we get to Bristol. It could be quite interesting. So the whole of the southwest of England is under a moderate wind warning today. And it looks a little bit tasty out there. So we'll get ourselves lined up on the runway. Get ourselves down to Bristol, or up to Bristol rather. So the route today is fairly standard, sort of up over Spain, across the Bay of Biscay, then over France, and we're going to take the Exmoor route into Bristol. Hey, Bush Pilot, how's it going? Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Hey Bevy, everyone's here today. The notifications must have worked. Right, what am I doing? I'm getting distracted by chat. I'm weaving all over the place. So let's get ourselves lined up. I've actually come quite far down the runway. I meant to go on the previous one, but I think that's okay. We usually take off loads of time. So yeah, the landing could be a bit interesting. The whole of the southwest of England's under a weather warning, so right. Let's just show you the flight plan before we set off. So here's us, we're going to come out, do a right turn, a left turn, and sort of bank to the right, and gradually head northwest over Spain before we head out towards the Bay of Biscay. I think it's the Bay of Biscay. Then we'll go over France, sort of Brittany, up towards the Exmoor waypoint. And then sort of all of this is under a weather warning, really. So we're going to come in over the southwest, sort of Devon, Exmoor, across Somerset, and then autopilot will end here, and we'll vector ourselves around. It's just a simple U-turn and bring ourselves in on final runway 27. So you may be wondering why I'm not doing a cold and dark start. Sometimes I do, and I like to do them, but given the potential for go-arounds, I don't want us to be stuck for time. That's basically the reason. So on that basis, we're going to get up in the air, get ourselves across to Bristol, and see what's what. Yeah, it could be interesting, so stay tuned. Right, everything's looking good, lights good, max, flaps 1, everything's looking good. Happy days. Right, let's go, shall we? Positive rates. Gear up. Where's my FPS tanking? That is not a good FPS. Let's try a different view. It's not so bad actually. Okay. autopilot on. Just see that slight little turn the plane did there. There we go, throttle levers into climb. Watching from Kuwait. That's awesome, welcome. Wow, Kuwait's a long way away from me. That's incredible. Welcome on into the stream. Let's disarm that. So we've got 23,000 feet in the window. That is because all of our waypoints and constraints are that we have to be above a certain altitude, and the one where we have to be at or below is 23,000. So that's low cloud at Heathrow, side wind but landed well. Nice, well done. Well done you. Taking a bit of a risk today. I mean, it's no secret that crosswinds are not my specialty. I genuinely struggle with them a lot there. I find them very tricky indeed. So there's only one way to get better though, you know, so for better or worse, I don't mind making a fool of myself in front of everybody on stream, so that's there is that. I mean, what are we, like 2 hours away now from got to be about 2 and a bit hours away from Bristol, so potential that the weather may improve by the time we get there, but the wind warning's in place for quite some time, I think. Ask the pilot to do a backflip. As in a backflip with the plane, or a backflip down the aisle? Okay, let's get those lights off. Standard pressure. Ah. The house stopped working then, that was alarming. That's interesting. Have we got a speed restriction? Yes, we do. 210. And I guess that clears at the next waypoint. Oh, make the plane do a backflip. Kodiak 100. What's that? You'll have to forgive me. I really struggle with basically planes that aren't Airbus and Boeing. I sometimes get people in the chat that talk about various different planes, and you can tell those planes are really important to them, but I actually struggle to kind of know what they are. I'm very much an Airbus, Boeing kind of guy. You're the best at flying the paper plane. We all know that. Turboprop like the Grand Caravan. Okay, nice. Thanks. I feel like I'm pretty good at the A320 now, but I still find the Boeings hard. Very, very hard. And I think the main reason why is that the trim isn't auto-trimmed. Like an A320 auto-trims you all the way down. Whereas a 737, you kind of got to do it yourself. And I find it quite tricky. Especially with the buttons on the joystick, it's not entirely obvious how many times I should press the button to adjust it, and it takes a while for the effect to kick in. So I do find that quite hard. How are we looking? Nice, so our speed restriction has been lifted. Because we passed that waypoint that we were at 210 at, which is good. We're basically letting the plane do everything. We've told it 23,000 is the maximum it can go up to, but it can manage the rate at which it does that. It can manage its speed. It can manage its heading. So we're kind of not doing very much. I bought 10 paper plane posters a few days ago. Is that just like blank sheets of paper or an actual poster? It's interesting that it keeps us quite low. It keeps us under flight level 230 for another 75 miles. It's surprising. And then we go up to 350 and we stay there until Exmoor, where they want us at 6,000. Posters with the paper plane logo on them. Nice. Above 6,000, so 6,000 at Exmoor. So how many miles away is Exmoor? That's the question. It's going to be this top one, isn't it? 758 miles. So if we do our top of descent calculation, so we'll be at 35,000 and we need to be at 6,000 by Exmoor. And if we do it, if we could say 1,700 feet per minute, because that's quite a nice descent rate, because you can manage your energy quite well. Once you go 2,000 and above, you can often find yourself over speeding. So it's saying 100 miles to descend. However, we're not at top speed yet. As you can see, that's climbing, and as this climbs, so will this. So yeah, there it goes. So when we get into cruise, we'll have a think about that properly. So we're coming up on flight level 230. So the plane should start to level off any minute now. Come on. Come on. There it goes. There it goes. Another 50 miles. Should need to be between 10,000 and flight level 320. 320? 230. And you can see it's kind of split the difference there at 16.5. But we're already at 230, so it's just a case of staying here. If you haven't already, guys, could you do me a massive favour and hit the like button? It really helps the channel, like so much. It really, really does. We're slowly marching our way towards the 4,000 hours mark on YouTube. It's just taking forever. We should be able to apply to get the channel monetized. I don't know what that'll actually look like. Probably get like a check for 50 pence. Something like that for a month, but I don't know. I kind of said when I started doing this channel in January, it'd be nice to do it within a year. I'm not entirely sure we're going to do that. We'll be a little bit out, but maybe like a couple of months after. See, the trouble was initially I was kind of fixated on the subscriber count. So all I could think about was subs. Sub. And we got there. You know, we're now at 1,700, almost 2,000 subs, which is nuts, absolutely nuts. I can't believe that. Where we're struggling though is watch hours. So out of all of my videos, people need to watch them for 4,000 hours in total over the course of 12 months. And we're at about 2,450 as of this morning. But annoyingly, the YouTube Shorts, like the vertical kind of TikTok style videos, they don't count. If they did count, we'd have done it within the first 3 months of the channel, which is really annoying, but kind of got to do what you got to do. The thing was, it wasn't until like June or July, that I really started to stream, and it was the streaming that caused the hours to go up. So really, I guess you could say I've only been doing the hours for 5 months. I really should have started on that sooner. I didn't really feel confident though. I was kind of just getting started out. I didn't really want to do it live and mess up in front of people, and it was a bit awkward. How far to that waypoint? Halfway to go, 26 miles. Yeah, awesome views. Awesome views. I did a flight into Malaga recently, and that approach was spectacular. Really cool approach. It was almost like you were flying, I wouldn't say there were valleys necessarily, but you were sort of flying amongst the hills. And there was a point where we had to fly over a hill with a load of wind turbines on it. It was very cool. Really tricky landing. I made a bit of a mess of it, if I'm honest, but it was great views, so... all being well, I should be going to Malaga in real life next year, so I'm quite excited about actually doing it in real life. Obviously as a passenger. I won't be flying the plane, thank goodness. Not unless there's like a moment from the movies, you know. The pilot's unconscious, can anyone fly the plane? I'll stand up. Stand back. Allow me. To the relief of absolutely no one. I sometimes do wonder, like, if it actually came to it, if push came to shove, could I land a real one? I don't know. I really don't know. $787. You know, I haven't properly flown the 787 on this. I did buy the premium deluxe super duper edition because I was like, oh yeah, I really want the 787. Never flown it. I've owned it for like 3 months now, so. Right. I'm guessing at this turn that represents our waypoint. Yes, it does. Now we've got to flight level 350. Is the plane going to start climbing? Yes, it is. What's it going to do? About 2,000 feet per minute? 2,200, 23. Okay. 22. Nice. So, what's that going to be? That's only about a 6 or 7 minute climb, isn't it? It's not very much. Oh, look at that view. Would you look at that? Nice to see the pole is as decisive as ever. 50-50. All my poles seem to go 50-50. What's the current weather on the ground at Bristol, I wonder? So we're coming in on runway 27, I believe. Yeah, EGGD 27. And the wind is currently at 100 degrees and 12 knots. Which actually isn't that bad, is it? Because that means the wind, if we're at 270, the wind's only going to be at about 10 degrees off the side of the plane. And at 12 knots, that isn't the worst. It's just if it's gusty. and if this is accurate, of course. Is there a way? There is, isn't there? You can do a AOC menu, WX request, EGDD, send. And then you go back and go into received messages. "100 degrees, 12 knots." Okay, so that is accurate. Just trying to work out what all this is. 210850Z. V160, 7000. $992 for QNH. So how does that match up? So this is all accurate, isn't it? That's good. You can print this. I'm sure you can print it. I don't know where the printer is. Isn't it like there? Here it comes. That's cool. That is very cool. I love that. Well, that's a view right there, isn't it? That is a view. So things are only about an hour and a half out from Alicante, which surprises me. I thought this was more of a 2.5 hour flight versus a 2 hour. We've not even been on the go 30 minutes. That includes a taxi. Almost at cruise. Almost. Whoa, look at that cloud. Alright. We're at cruise altitude. Everything seems to be going perfectly. I am going to take the opportunity to go make a cup of coffee. I'll be back in a few minutes. You're in charge of the aircraft, so if anything does go wrong, it won't be my fault, okay? Back in a minute. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I got waylaid feeding the guinea pigs. What's going on? What did I miss? Oh, Nick's in. You right, Nick? Just checking with the with all of this here. Quite a nasty little 75 mile an hour crosswind. Knots, I should say. That is incredible. How's that affecting our fuel burn? It was a rainbow. So we've used 2,000 of our 7,500. Have to keep an eye on that. Where are we flying this time? We're flying to Bristol, Nick, in England. The reason being, it's in the southwest of England, and the southwest of England is currently under a weather warning today. A wind warning, specifically. Wow, look at that. It's definitely getting bumpy, isn't it? Depending on how that fuel situation goes, I may have to cheat and refuel mid-air. Hopefully we'll be okay. Hopefully we'll be okay. I mean, the climb is going to take a lot, which we've now done, so we'll keep an eye on it. Alright, so it looks like the vote is now overwhelmingly in favour of some lo-fi music, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just mid-air refuelling, that'll be fun, wouldn't it? Is this cloud going to end? Whoa, look at the crab angle. So that's our heading, and this is our course. So we're at a 10-degree offset. Wow. So how many miles have we got to run? 621, and that makes 571 to Exmoor, where we need to be at 6,000 feet. Oh, actually, let's check the top of descent, because, yeah, 125 miles-ish, isn't it? 25, so we'll call that 450. Yeah, so we're about 450 miles away from top of descent. I'm curious, what do you think about the mini-map in the bottom left? I'm never sure whether it's zoomed in too much for it to actually be useful. Because I look at that now and I'm like, I don't know where we are. Could be France, could be Germany, could be Spain. Obviously, I know I'm in Spain because we've taken off from Spain, but don't know whether the zoom could maybe do with going out a little bit to give you a broader context. I don't know, what do you think? Alright. Let's have a look. At the risk of ruining everything. Oh, that's better. How about that? Yeah, I love that. That's way better actually, isn't it? Gives you a much better sense of where you are. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Show me the livery. It says Matu113. Sure. It's a tad loud, isn't it? There we are. That's us. Bit cloudy, yes, it is indeed. It is indeed. Curious to see what it's like when we get nearer to Bristol. Like I was saying, the southwest of England is under a weather warning today with the wind, so curious when this is going to break. I mean, we've got the sea coming up, so it is very lumpy and bumpy though. Oh, Finland under warning because of snow and wind. Wow. Yeah, thankfully no snow here. Is it starting to break? Or is that just false hope? Still plenty out the front. Slight break. Whoops. Silly boy. I am going to get some windows on my second monitor. Apologies, I should have done this before I took off. But at least this way I can see what's going on while we look out the window. look out, the troublemakers are here. Morning, you alright? How you doing, Matthew? Well, the landing could prove to be trouble, if nothing else. Although at the moment, it might be alright. So the southwest is under a wind warning this morning, so that's kind of why I chose this route into Bristol, or Brizzle, as some like to call it. But despite that, it is kind of actually in our favour. So if we go into here, let's have a look. So we're coming in on runway 27, which, as the name would suggest, means we're going to come in at 270 degrees. Now the wind is at 110, so actually that's only a 10 degree offset to our direction when we come in on final. 13 knots isn't nothing, but it's also not loads. So we might get away with it. Or we might not. Maybe I'll just cheat and use the approach mode. If I set the camera such that you can't see the button, then I can lie to you all. Be like, yeah, that's totally me that did that. That's Spain nearly done. About an hour and 10 from Bristol. This bit of sea we're about to go over, is that the Bay of Biscay? I think it is. Known for its choppiness, I think. Only ever been as far as Brittany on the ferry, and that was bad enough, so I'm not sure I'd want to go all the way down to is it Santander? Oh wow, it's definitely getting bumpy, look. We're flying at a 10 degree crab just to maintain our course. So our course should be what is it going to be, about 355 degrees, and we're pointing, so our heading is 345. Bilbao, thank you, yes. Look, there's a break in the cloud. That's a good point, we should put the seatbelt signs on, if they're not already on. Oh yeah, seatbelts, they are on. Does it make the noise if you take them on and off? Yeah, it does. Nice. So I'm partly wondering whether going over the sea will break the cloud, I don't know. Bye, I gotta go now. No worries, take it easy. Cheers for stopping by. Looking out the front, yeah. Still a wall of cloud at the front. Slightly concerned about the fuel. I don't know, we're not doing so bad. Given we've only got an hour left, we should be fine. Hey, look at that, the cloud's broken, finally. How long till we land, Nick? ETA is 1 hour and 1 minute. Weirdly, it looks like we're on a different course than what the minimap thinks we should be on. Yeah. So the minimap thinks we've got some turns to do, but actually we don't. We're doing a straight line all the way to Exmoor, 440 miles. Big game today. What's that? The football. Oh yeah, yeah it is. I'm probably the worst person to talk to about that though. I don't really follow it at all. Although I do generally like watching the World Cup. I don't follow football for any other time really, possibly with the exception of the Euros. I don't suppose you know who we're playing. Well, when I say who we're playing, who England are playing. Oh, Iran. Yeah. Yeah, actually that rings a bell now. I think I heard that somewhere. I don't even know if we're like what the odds are for us really. Whether we're expected to win against Iran, whether Iran's expected to win against us, whether we're expected to do reasonably well in the tournament, I really don't know. Where are we going to fly the 747 next? That's a good question. Maybe we could do 747. Where can we go? You see all that cloud just loading? Good job, Flightsaver. Good job, good job. What's a good 747 flight? New York. Yeah, only thing is, we did New York week before last. Or last week even. Did Heathrow to New York. Could do Las Vegas. Maybe Gatwick to Las Vegas. That's quite a... that's a 747 route I've been on myself. It's like a 10-hour flight though. It's a long time. Oh, Sydney. Yeah, where from though? Where do you start to get to Sydney? Like Singapore? Could you do that sort of leg? I think it's if you're going to go London to Sydney, you quite often stop in either, is it... I think Dubai is one place that is quite a common stop off, depending on obviously your airline that you travel with. I guess that'd be Emirates. I think Singapore is quite common for other airlines to do the whole refuel and change crews, that sort of thing. Don't forget, we've also got the Dreamliner now. We could do some stuff in that. And we also have a 777, although, I mean, let's be real, that is just a reskin of the 747. We need PNDG to make a 777, don't we? And I know they are. What I mean is we need them to release it. Urgently. Yeah, we could do a night flight. I did a night flight recently, actually. We did... Where did we go? It was JFK to Heathrow, I think, in the A330. So we had the sort of sunrise over Ireland. That was quite cool. That was a cool flight. I enjoyed that a lot. I guess I'd have to look at time zones, like what's the difference between Singapore and Sydney, and work out when's a good time to take off from Singapore to then maybe get a sunrise en route. That might be quite nice. have on gas? I'm not sure what you mean, Nick. Looks like we're doing okay for fuel. Fuel burn has dropped considerably. Considering we started with 7.5, we're now at 4.4. But we won't be long now. I mean, what are we, 50 minutes out? We've got over half of our fuel remaining. We'll be fine. Are we going to fly tomorrow night? Well, if I'm going to do a long haul, I may not be able to fly live tomorrow night. But if I pre-record a long haul, that could go out. Record it Tuesday. I suppose when you say tomorrow night, you could be in a different time zone than me, couldn't you? So basically I'm toying with a new schedule. So I do streams like this where it's kind of 2-3 hour-ish kind of streams where I'm on the mic, we're talking, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'll do those Monday, Wednesday. Same time, so Wednesday will be the same time as it is now. And I'm toying with the idea, instead of doing the Tuesday and Thursday evenings UK time, dropping those in favour of making some longer haul stuff to then stream out at different times of day. Because the issue I've got is that according to my analytics within YouTube, in the evenings especially, just no one's around. And my numbers were reflecting it. I was looking at the stream numbers in the evenings, I was like, why are they so bad? Relative to the mornings. And then you look at the audience graph and it kind of gives you a heat map of times of day, and then how many people roughly from your audience are online at that time of day. And the evenings is like the worst time of day, it turns out. Mornings aren't great, like right now, ideally I'd be doing this maybe 3 or 4 hours later in the day, but I can't, so we have to make the best of what we've got. And the long haul stuff, if I were to do that, pre-record it, then stream out the recording, I can then do that at the optimum time of day, which is the benefit. And it also kind of broadens the audience as well. Because I think these morning streams where it's us kind of talking about the plane, talking about the route, that kind of appeals to more of the aviation enthusiast, I guess. And the longer haul stuff is much more kind of background ambient for like people that want to have something on while they work or study or chill out or maybe fall asleep to. Completely different audiences. So, I'm still very much in learning mode with all of this. Still trying things out. but the evening ones, Tuesday and Thursday, they weren't working out. It almost wasn't worth the effort, which is a sad thing to say, but also means Tuesday and Thursday I can then potentially stream on the other channel, which is something I want to do as well. I've got my other channel that I want to put some work into, and by doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, how I was doing it, there was no window of time for the other channel. But doing the pre-recorded ones, that does potentially open it up. So, we'll see. How many pets at my house? We've got a dog, some fish, and 2 guinea pigs, and a cat that we don't own, but nevertheless continues to turn up and demand food. Must be coming up on the French coast. Right, I'm going to be back in a minute. I should be back in 2 minutes. Alrighty, I'm back. How's my other game going? As in Call of Duty? Not bad. Not bad at all. Very much enjoying it. Very cool game indeed. I would like to do more with it on the other channel. Do some more streams, do some more uploads. Okay, so we are just, aren't we? Just off the coast of Brittany, I believe. Ah, look who's here. Good morning. How are you? Hope you're well. So it's not going to be that long until we're at top of descent. Because you can see here that we're zoomed all the way out on the map thing here, but it's literally we're doing a straight line to this waypoint here, which is Exmoor. We need to be at 6,000 feet, then we turn our way around, get down to 4,000 feet, then loop around and back into the runway. Probably should do a weather check and a fuel check. Plenty of fuel, that's good. So wind is picking up. The wind has picked up by about 5 knots. Okay, this could be interesting. But the direction has remained the same, which is good. Because if we're coming in on runway 27, that's 270 degrees. 270 degrees, if you take off 180, that takes you to 90, so we're only 10 degrees off. We're having horrific internet problems. Oh no, not the router. That's never good. That's never fun, is it? Touch wood, mine seems to have been okay today. Obviously it wasn't the other day, as you well know, but... Let's have a look at our top of descent. 127 miles required to descend down to 6,000. So we're only 110 miles away from top of descent, which is not that long. $144p. Oh, you're kidding. Have you got a new router on the way, or you still working things out? Whoa, look at that patch of cloud over where we need to land. Could be interesting. If we've got low visibility, we may not have a choice but to use approach mode. Which I must admit I will take some relief from that. I mean, quite often if you're having internet issues like that, your ISP, if it's an ISP provided router, they'll send you out a new one, but I don't know. Recently got some of that mesh Wi-Fi, that's very cool. Oof, okay. Does it work if you plug in, have you got a device you can plug into the Ethernet on the back of the router? Like a laptop or something? See if that works. Because if that works, at least you know the internet is getting to you okay. And then perhaps the problem lies within the wireless. And it may be as simple as changing the wireless channel. Oh, that doesn't work either. Okay. So you get absolutely nothing, or is it just a bad connection? Absolutely nothing. Oh dear. So that would be Brittany beneath us. Yeah, okay, that sounds like it's had it. So we're not far from our top of descent now. We are at 200 miles away from our Exmoor waypoint, where we need to be at 250 knots and flight level 6060. So our top of descent calculator recommends 127 miles, but I think, given that we need to slow down as well, oh, I'm sorry, it's unwatchable. That sucks, it really does. Well, I'll leave it up. I'll leave the stream up as a video, so maybe when your internet's fixed, you can do that. I hope you get it sorted. I really do. So we're at 180 miles from Exmoor. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to call it at 140. Start our descent there. And then, with a bit of luck, we will be able to give ourselves enough time to slow down prior to hitting 10,000 feet, and then continue the rest of our descent once we're at our speed limit of 250 knots. We're really not far now from the north coast of Brittany, which basically means we're really not that far from England, because the ferry that leaves from Roscoff, which is sort of here-ish, or is it there? Somewhere along here. I think they said it's about 90 something miles to Plymouth, which is the south coast of Devon. So it's really not far. Alright, we're 10 miles from top of descent. So, first things first, let's get ourselves down to 6,000 in the window. And then we'll set our descent rate of 1,700 feet per minute. We're 147 miles. 146. 145. It's amazing you can do a mile so quickly. Right, that's near enough. So you should see the engine start to roll back, which they are. And then we start our rate of descent, 1,000 feet per minute, 1,100, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It should hold it there for us. There it goes. Brilliant. So I think what we'll do, we will pause our descent just to the higher side of 10,000. Get our speed under control at that point, ready for us to cross under 10,000 and get ourselves down to 6. Let's enter our destination data, because that's not going to be long. Alright, QNH. So 988. So that'd be 0988. Knots and 100 degrees and 16 knots rather, which might give us a bit of a problem on the way in. 200 on the radio. What's the temperature on the ground? 8 degrees. Approach speed 134. Not long now, no. I mean, the flight computer's saying 11:24 we will arrive at Bristol, and it's now 11:04, so 157 miles to go. Yeah, not long at all now. Well, the 777 is wildly more popular than the A330, I'm surprised. I really am surprised. I mean, it's only 7 votes, so it's quite a small data set, but nevertheless. far off the coast now. I can't tell whether that up ahead is land or whether that's just the clouds scattering. I can't quite tell. Fairly certain that's land. Well, it all seems nice and pleasant up here at the moment in terms of the weather, but looking at what's on the ground there, you see those big, thick bands of rain moving across the UK. I'm just curious at what point we're going to intercept that, because it can't be long. Here comes the coast. Definitely nearly there now. Feels like we're just about to hit that big band of rain. So we're not far from 10,000 feet, so I'm going to get our speed down to 250. If we can. We stop our descent at 10,500. Get ourselves set up, ready to go. Ready to go beneath 10,000. Get our speed under control. Get our lights on. Set local pressure. Trying to work out where we are. Somewhat lost. Alright, so we're just pausing here at 10,500. Get that speed all the way down to 250. Mind you, looking at the way we're bobbing up and down, maybe 240 might not be a bad idea, just so we've got a bit of leeway. Nice. Right, let's carry on with our descent down to 6. Now then. Entirely possible that our speed is going to start creeping up. Wow, that is lumpy and bumpy. You can see the speed tape going crazy, like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's a windy old day. That is bumpy. It's very windy. No wonder the Met Office gave a weather warning. .988. Okay. Brighten these screens up a little. It's starting to get a bit dim in here. So I'm just trying it without the speed brakes. Can we stay under 250? I've reduced the rate at which we're descending. So we're only descending at 900 feet per minute now. Which should bring us perfectly to where we need to be. I think the map has probably served its function at this point, so we'll get rid of the map for now. Basically we're very, very close to Bristol, so that's where we are. That's us at 6,000 now. That'll be the rain beneath us. This is where it gets interesting. Curious what visibility is going to be like. I think this is where we kiss goodbye to those nice blue skies. Yeah, there it goes. You can just see the north coast there. Just about. Typical Bristol cloudy weather, yeah. But we do have a weather warning, which is kind of why I wanted to do this, just to see if I can see like the weather's changing so much that you see like every second it's like the clouds are regenerating based off of the live weather data. It's unusual to see that happen in the sim. Yeah, Bristol is right in the thick of it there, isn't it? I'm going to work out where that is. Is that Minehead? No, it's not Minehead. That's not where they're putting that nuclear power plant, is it? Hinkley, yeah, that rings a bell. Hinkley Point, is it they call it? You see it, can we try at the back? Unsure. Right, so we stay at 6,000 until, you can see it on the map, look. So we stay at 250 knots, probably up our speed a touch now. Then we need to be at 210 by here, Baxon, and at 4,000, then we'll whiz around manually from that point there to that point, and come in on final and see what's what. Weirdly though, looking at this, 220 and 30, I'm getting 116. So I'm hoping that's going to change the nearer we get to the ground. Because otherwise that's going to be, if you look at that direction of that arrow, and then sort of run that across the runway, that's going to be quite nasty. Right, let's get ourselves down to 4,000. Get our speed down to 210. So if it weren't for the cloud, you should be able to see Bristol Airport around here somewhere. This could be quite challenging. Let's get some flaps on the go. Get the landing system on. Don't crash. I'll try, Nick. No promises. This could be a bit dicey. Okay, so we've got flaps fully deployed. The plane knows our approach speed based on our weight and wind conditions. Look at that crab. Look at the direction of our plane versus that line. So, it's good that this diamond is slowly making its way up. We want to get it the higher side of this yellow line so we can then intercept it on final approach from beneath rather than above. Because you don't want to be chasing the glide slope down, otherwise you'll be pointing the aircraft down too much. Okay, lights are good. We'll do auto brake. Do auto brake medium and use our reversers due to the... In fact, no, we won't. We'll do auto brake low because we're in wet conditions. We'll use our reversers to do the lion's share of the work. Because in the wet, they're far more effective than brakes. Armed speed brakes. There we go, that's the end of our okay, let's do a left turn to 270. It's actually looking quite bright now. Oops. Okay, so we've got the runway out here somewhere. That visibility doesn't look great. So we do approach mode at this point. There you go, so it's found the localizer. Hence it's turning us to the direction of the runway. And just as this diamond hits the yellow line, we should start to see the plane begin its descent. GS for glide slope, there it is. So it's got both. So the wind is definitely not what they said it would be. Not by a long shot, look at that. 100 degrees and 16 knots, and we've got 107, almost 180 degree. We've got a complete and utter crosswind here. it's already done it. Altimeter
2,500.
29012. I guess we have to go with that. I mean, the runway's like out here. This is crazy. Visual on the runway? That's never it there, surely. No worries, Matthew. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to end, though. This could be a problem. This is a bit dicey. Just got to remember everything that 320 Sim Pilot taught me.
1,000.
Oh dear.
1,000.
When do I disconnect the autopilot? That's the question, because I feel like at the moment I'm going to really struggle with this.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000. I hear you.
1,000.
It's my plane now, for better or worse. Got to admire the actual pilots that have to do this. Really do. Oh, that's too low, isn't it? That's going to go too low. Yeah, there it is. 3 reds.
500.
See, now the wind has completely changed on us.
100 above. Minimum 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Well, that was very strange. Very strange. That felt almost like that was bugged from a sim point of view. That was very strange. So we went from like a 180 degree crosswind to almost a tailwind. That was weird. The live weather on this just is not right. I'm sorry, it just is not right. That doesn't happen, right? The wind doesn't change that dramatically. And the autopilot seemed to completely disconnect. Not the autopilot, sorry, the auto throttle. Yeah, see, look at that windsock. That is almost a complete tailwind now. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. It's almost like the weather data the plane was getting all of a sudden changed. Which is really annoying when you're on final approach. Yeah, not a bad landing. It's just weird. Very weird. Makes me feel like I just can't trust the live weather. That's like this 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th time that's happened now. Where just something weird has happened last minute. Happened into Barcelona, happened into Malaga, happened now. Happened 2 or 3 times when we did our tour of Australia. Unless, of course, that is what might actually happen in real life, because, of course, I've got no real piloting experience, so maybe that does happen, I don't know. But it seems odd to me that you would have a wind hitting the left side of the plane at 30 knots, and then it twists to become a tailwind right at the last minute. That doesn't strike me as something that probably would happen, but that's not to say that it actually doesn't. How very strange. Right, let's park up. GG's indeed. GG's indeed. I'll take it. I'll take that as a landing, given the circumstances. Right. And there we have it. Oof. You see, now I'm reluctant to try live weather ever again. I'm going to go onto like Reddit and see if people are having the same things, because that seems weird to me. It really does seem weird. Weird indeed. Anyway, I gotta go. Real life calls and all of that. Thank you all for coming, and all being well, I'll see you same time again Wednesday morning. You all take care of yourselves. Cheers.